I hear you, DG. Hey guys. Hey, what is being Willie back in the garden? Uh, Going live. Been in the garden here for a little while. Didn't get a chance to check me out earlier today. I went live maybe a couple of hours ago, and the title was "Trolling for No Purpose." And if you didn't get a chance, check it out. Check it out if you get a chance. Uh, Today, family, we just in there for food for thought. We live in the garden. Make sure you guys make sure you subscribe, push the like button, and put the notification button. I know we've been having some discrepancies with the notifications rather, but we're gonna try to get that taken care of. Like I say, I'm gonna try to get in as much as I can, but let's see how it goes. If you didn't get to check me out earlier today, family, I was talking about trolls, and what I basically was saying was, you have a choice, and you have a lot of different channels that you can go to. You did? I mean, so if you're in the garden, I mean, we just here for food for thought. Now, if you want to come in, if you have something you want to say, you want to talk about some things, then like I said, let's talk about it as a family. We don't have to do that negative stuff. And if you want to do the negative stuff, I just have to get you out of it. That's weeds. We don't need that. All right. Look out on me. I see you. DG, what it do? KY, what's up? All right. So, family, I'm going to just get into a couple things. I was checking out the Wire yesterday, and I don't know if you guys. I talked about the political process earlier today and how you have 92% of Afro melanated people supposedly supposed to be Democrats, and I asked a question earlier in the garden. I want to come back to that same question. I mean, what's going on? I mean, do we have any history of this whole political process, and why do we just vote just to vote, especially on the federal level? And if we are voting just to vote, if you voted in the last 4 to 8 to 12 years for presidents, for congressmen, and for senators, have the people you voted for, one, do you know them, and two, have they done the things they said they're going to do? I think it's very important, family, that you stay on top of all geopolitical social news. I know so many times, you like, well, I don't want to I don't want to talk about that, but that actually can affect your wealth and how much you get, because understanding geopolitical news can affect your wealth. I mean, it's a Ponzi scheme. The stock market, the bond market. I mean, anytime you have a central bank, which that's the Federal Reserve, can come in and kind of just say, you know what, we're going to put a lot of money in the system by printing money, paper money, right? So that interest rates, so that inflation can go up. Anytime you have a bank that can do that, and do your research, family, the Federal Reserve Chairman is named James Powell, right? He also reiterated what former Federal Reserve Chairman has said. We are not a part of the government. We are our own entity. We are over the monetary policies in America. Deal with it. Okay? Deborah, what's going on? Epic Slayer, I see you. Chase Boys, I see you. Something going on in the government. Like I say, it's cognitive dissonance. It has to be. This thing or this type of system has been going on for many, many years, man. I talked about in the past video about bread and circus. If you voted, why? And I'm just asking a question, just asking a question because I just want to know, because I watched the debate last night, the Democratic debate. And once again, I just have to keep saying the number. 92% of Afro-melanated Americans are Democrats. If they are Democrats and they watch what I watched last night, are you serious? Okay? Because then you have to get back into the whole notion of a historical analysis of Democrats. If you go back to the Civil War, And family, this is gonna be a little food for thought. That's why I didn't put a title on there. It's gonna be some food for thought because right now, it's 2020 coming up in an election year. I want to give out some information so you can have a better understanding. Because remember, the worst thing that individuals that's in power want is critical thinkers. And I'm not telling anyone out there not to vote, but I'm just asking, why are you voting and who are you voting for? And if you voted in the past, has it worked out for you? KY, I have to agree with you. It's generational voting. You did? And if you don't have a historical analysis or historical perspective of the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, all you have to do is go back to 1865 after the Civil War. After the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery, and then the 14th and 15th Amendment. Down South, they did not want to recognize that. And I'm telling you right now, the whole slavery situation, we really have to get into that. I really have to do another video about that because that's something like when you're an empath, when you're a critical thinker, there's a 3-letter word that you always ask, and that's why. And why did those that were quote unquote slaves, why weren't they counted? If you know anything about the seas and who ran the seas back in those days, family, and I'm just going back right now. If you know anything about those days, the British ran the seas. So all the so-called slaves that was coming from Africa to America were on ships, allegedly, and they had to have a manifest. So all the documentation is supposed to be there. So we shouldn't have any discrepancies on where these individuals came from, what country, whatnot, right? And so when we fast forward to 1865 and slavery ended, well, the Democrats were in the South, Republicans in the North. The Republicans in the North recognized what they call the 14th Amendment, which gave African American citizenship. Well, and then the 15th Amendment gave African Americans the right to vote. Family, this was in the 1860s. So why, and that's why I say a lot of the stuff that we've been given, you got to ask yourself why, because if in 1865 African Americans had the right to vote, then what was the civil rights movement about? And then why wasn't African Americans in the South able to vote until the 1960s? You did? And so if you voted, and I'm saying who you voted for and what's your reason for voting? Just asking. Okay? So just make sure your comments, guys. I don't know what's going on with the comments, but let's see what's going on. All right. At any rate, back to the live. So if you vote Democratic, I just want to know why. Because, like I said in past videos, it's one bird with 2 wings. 2 wings of the same bird. And so I have 3 reasons why we continue to do the things we do. Remember, there are more people in America that's not in power, that don't have money, than have money. So you got to ask yourself, why do we continue to let the things happen that we let happen? I.e., the tax code. I did a video about the tax code not too long ago. And I want to ask you guys, if you don't know anything about the tax code, please do your research on the tax code. Because what the tax code is an over 70,000 page document that the Congress passes. Now, Congress, that's senators and congressmen. Have any of you guys ever voted for a congressman or senator and you understood what was in the tax code? Or do you know what the tax code is right now? Or do you know what taxes you pay, what tax rates you pay? Because I do a lot of videos about investing, but I never did a video about the taxes. And there are certain benefits with the taxes when you invest in. There are certain things that you need to look at. And so when you do your taxes this year, family, make sure you get some professional help if you're investing. Any questions out there? Not gonna be on long today, family. I got my sons coming through, so thought they was coming through right now. So I just want to come back, give a little information, a little historic analysis about voting, and if you are voting, make sure you do your due diligence and find out why you're voting and who you're voting for. I can't tell you if you're Republican. Well, you have Donald Trump, a guy named William Weld, and a guy named Mark Sanford. Those are the three guys that are going to be running for president on the Republican side. And on the Democratic side, you have a lot of people. And if you didn't get a chance to watch the Democratic debate last night, go ahead and YouTube it. All right? But family, get on out here. In the meantime, between time, may Most High inside you bring you joy. And I think my son's coming. And be with us out of 5,000.